Good evening. My name is Carlos. I'm a facilitator in our community outreach program. I want to welcome everybody to Free Minds on the Same Page Right Night, a mutual exchange of hope and healing between incarcerated poets in our community. Our featured poet ambassadors tonight are Free Minds members Damon and Lydell, in conversation with my co-host Sofia, our wonderful facilitator of our Monday night Letters Writers Circle. I know some of you on tonight are Letter Lighters, so thank you for spending our time with us in community. I want to exchange a warm welcome to our returning night writers and to any new volunteers that are here for the first time tonight. We also have Free Minds members who are home in the community joining us. Please post in the chat where you're joining us from, and if this is your first Write Night or if you have attended a Free Minds event in the past. Also, before you leave a comment, please make sure that you click on everybody. That way we all get to see your comments. Our incarcerated poets will be thrilled to know how many community members are supporting them and what cities and states and countries are here for them. Here's how it's going to go tonight. We will have a conversation with Damon and Lydell, and we'll have a chance to answer any of your questions until about 7:25 Eastern Time. Please put any questions you have in the chat or in the Q&A button below at any time. Then we'll share some quick tips on how to use the platform Miro and give feedback, and we will all be on the same page. Now we'll turn it over to my co-host Sofia, who will introduce our poet ambassadors tonight.
Thank you so much, Carlos. It's so wonderful to be co-hosting with you and to be joined by all of our amazing Write Night community. As you may know, Free Minds is turning 20, and I know many of you attended our virtual celebration in October. Well, tonight is the first Write Night of our 20th year, so welcome everyone. So happy to have you all here. We're so grateful that you're all a part of this strong community. And now I have the honor of introducing our fantastic poet ambassadors. Poet Ambassador Damon joined Free Minds in 2021. After 26 years of incarceration, Damon was released in June under the Incarceration Reduction Amendment Act, also known as IRA. Since coming home, Damon has obtained his driver's license, multiple certifications, and will start swimming lessons soon. He is currently enrolled full-time in the Georgetown Pivot program, while also mentoring youth at Seed Public Charter School through an organization called Healing Underrepresented Men of Color. Damon's goal is to start a career development program for youth called the Youth Business Bootcamp. He's also a songwriter and aspiring author who hopes to publish his first book soon. Poet Ambassador Lydell joined Free Minds in 2005 when he was charged and incarcerated as an adult at the age of 17. He participated in our book club on the juvenile block at the DC jail and wrote his first poem in a book club session. After almost 17 years of incarceration, Lydell was recently released on October 16th. Since coming home, Lydell has opened his first bank account and is overjoyed to be able to spend time with his close-knit family. He is currently working towards his goal of being a filmmaker. Lydell is an avid reader and writer whose poetry is featured in the Free Minds anthology, When You Hear Me, You Hear Us. And I'll turn it over to Carlos.
Thank you, Sophia. And thank you, Damon and Lydell, for being here tonight. So to get started, let's go with you, Damon. You have picked a piece that you wrote to share with us tonight. Would you like to start with sharing that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm every man. I'm every man, from the artist to the author, the daddy to the doctor, the buddy to the boxer, the rapper to the rock star. I'm from out of this world, Nappy Armstrong. Went and took my first steps on the moon and I was gone. Welcome back, Mr. Carter. I'm the coach and the hurricane. I'm Mr. Wright. Me and my brother built the airplane. And I remember back in 63, I dreamt this 5 years before they came to kill me up in Memphis. You know what my strength is? I'm the same prophet that the king got to kill the Philistine with the slingshot. Once I saw the scene shot, vision came clearer than a Visine drop in both eyes. Like face off, I be both guys. I'm Trump and George Bush, even though we both lied. They chose to impeach me. The same message, brother, Jesus trying to teach thee. I'm every man, and every man is me. See, every man is me, from Eve, baby father, running naked through the garden, eating apples from the tree. Chose to leave from the garden, now I navigate the sea. I'm the one who built them pyramids, perfect, just like me. It's mind over matter. If you look, you just might see your long lost brother from the book. I just might be a different DNA, but you looking just like me. You know, it's kind of heavy, man. I'm every man. Thank you.
Thank you. And before we go any further, I gotta say this first. Welcome home. You know what I mean?
Thank
It's
you.
I know that's like major, major, man. Man, ever since you stepped out here, you ain't stopped smiling yet.
Man, beautiful
Yeah.
thing, man. Freedom
And
is something that
that was a powerful piece, right? Real quick, can you tell us like a little bit about the inspiration behind this poem?
um yeah, you know, under harsh conditions, great things are often manifested. So I was in the state prison in Virginia at the time, because you know DC prisons were contracted through the Virginia state system during that time. This is the year 2001, and we snowed in. I'm talking about gun towers in the kitchen. This is just lockdown. It's prison, right?
Mhm.
And I had a couple of things to read. It was a book by the sister Ayanna Van Zant called The Spirit of a Man. I had a book about the subjugation of women, and I had a radio. And on the radio, they was playing the song by Shaka Khan, every woman. And I was like, that's probably inspiring for women to hear that. And I was like, men need something like that to inspire them as well. And so the idea just started coming together. You know, when you put certain things out in the ethers, the universe started moving in a certain direction. And then the creator just gave me the inspiration, and it came down on paper, and I just wrote it down like he gave it to me.
Man, that was nice artwork you put together right there. It's creative. Let me ask you something real quick. Because there's a lot of information in the messages in that poem you read. Just real quick, what does education mean to you, and like how does that play a role in your writing?
Oh, writing comes from inspiration, but education is a word that's deeply connected to it, because if you look at the word for education, the root word is educe. And the word educe means to draw out of you that which is already in you. So it's to inspire you to tap into the best of who you are, to tap into your fullest potential. And that's inspiration. So they're both connected. Education is not just the information that you receive from the public school system or the private school system. It's the lessons that you learn as you go through the journey of life. So that's inspiration, because you need to be inspired in order to complete that journey, because we know there's a lot of bumps and bruises that we encounter along the way.
Well said, brother. And you also picked out another poem by one of our incarcerated poets to share tonight. And do you mind reading that for us?
It would be an honor to read it, because the words are powerful. The words are alive. And it's called Change, by a good brother by the name of Hurry W. Change will come. It's inevitable in order for us to grow. What we learn living life, we must manifest in order for change to show. Change is a process that happens to us and for us as the caterpillar transforms into the butterfly. As sure as the sky is blue, you too will transform. Change happens naturally, and we must let it occur. Never forsake the unknown out of fear. Oh, thanks for the love. Somebody sent me something in the chat that do the poem off, right? It's all good. Change happens naturally, and you must let it occur. Never forsake the unknown out of fear. Nurture and embrace change, wisdom, and growth until your vision is clear. Change will come. It's inevitable.
Well read. What speaks out to you about this poem?
Change, the word itself is so simple, one syllable, but it's such an impactful word, because change entails a process. You're going through the journeys of life, you learning certain lessons, you're growing, you slipping, you falling, you getting back up, you connecting with new people, you finding your place in life. You drawing what life has to offer you, but you're also contributing what you have to offer life. You casting your crumbs upon the water and allowing them to come back as loaves. And so as you go through that process, you learn, you know, you unfold just as that caterpillar unfolds. It's
I
a
like that.
process, though. It don't happen overnight.
I like that. I like that. Let me ask you this one quick question again. What role do you think peer support and community connection can have in creating personal change?
Oh man, it's vital. It can't happen without it. Just like it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village, man, to get a returning citizen and put them back on a strong foundation. It takes a village to support any one person. You show me any one person that's been successful, I'll show you the team that helped him or her get where they needed to be at. So having that network was vital. I know for me, you know, it's different for everybody. I know upon my release, Free Minds Book Club and Writing Workshop was there for me, not just offering me connections, but giving me directions, you know, and allowing me to earn a little finance and helping me with my transportation and certain things like that. Because it's difficult to focus on your hopes and dreams when you don't know what you're going to eat or how you're going to get to this job interview or what you're going to wear. They will assist you with clothes, transportation. I'm talking about all that. I went to get my license. It was coaches down there saying, yes. And I was like, oh, man. That's how I hit the curb. It's like, no, I'm playing. I got my license. But, you know,
Man,
that's
thank
vital,
you,
though. Somebody
man. Yeah, it
not
is.
just to hold your hand, but to walk beside you. Sometimes to walk in front of you and say, come on. Sometimes to get behind you and push you. Because everybody on your support team has a different role to play. And it's vital. You're not going to make it without help. I don't care if you're the richest man in the world. If you don't have a banker that you're dealing with that's giving you that money, you stuck. You
Yeah.
stuck. Everybody needs somebody.
You
A
need support.
network.
Yeah,
It's
you need
called a
support.
network because it's a net. It's a lot of people that's in it. It's a lot of people that's involved, and it's
Mhm.
work being put in. We ain't just sitting in the net chilling.
Yep.
We shaking hands and making plans. So in order for something to happen in life, we got to invest something in life.
Man, thank you, Damon. Man, that was well said and that was powerfully said. Now I'd like to turn it over to my co-host Sofia, who will be in conversation with Lydell.
Yep. Thank you so much, Carlos and Damon. You might be seeing this in the chat, Damon, but you're getting lots of love, lots of love. So Lydell, I know that you have a poem of your own that you would like to share with us tonight that you wrote while experiencing solitary confinement. So I was wondering if you could read that for us.
No problem. Okay, this poem is titled "When" by Lydell Clanton. I wait till the sun rises in the east, the rays burning my eyes as I shake off the sleep. My first vision is bars before a screen and a half-open window. Beyond that is cages, a gun tower, and a 20-foot wall. Then I see something else every day that should give hope to all. High upon a pole, it waves at me, sometimes to the east, sometimes to the west. Surrounded by blue skies and white clouds, both symbols of freedom, both symbols of life. Today I feel neither. Tomorrow will be the same. I am of the world, but not in it. So I stare out the window and wonder, when? When will I live my life in this manner? Of life, of liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When, I ponder, as I look at the Star-Spangled Banner.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Such a powerful poem. I think one of the lines that sticks out the most to me is when you say, I'm of the world, but not in it. Like that is just so profound. Like I think it really speaks to the unjust irony of incarceration. So with that being said, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about what you were experiencing when you wrote this poem and sort of where you were at.
Well, at the time, it was 2016. I was locked up in the federal institution in Lewisburg in the special management unit, and which was a 23-hour lockdown. I was there for 14 months, right? 14 consecutive months on 23-hour lockdown. And every morning I wake up and there was a window, you could open up the window and I see the flag. There's a flag on the pole. And I'm like, and I just used to wake up and look at it and say, man, I wish I could be as free as that flag. Cause it just, you know, to me it was a heck of a vision, right? every morning just seeing this flag on this pole flying, flapping, or sometimes laying still, right? But it was free. To me, it was freer than I was. A flag on the pole was freer than me. And that's where that poem came from.
Yeah, it's such a strong poem. It's such a, like, one of those pieces of art that has you thinking so much for a long time. I was wondering if you could just speak on generally what role reading and writing played in your life during your incarceration, like specifically how they helped you get through isolation, you know, especially experiencing solitary confinement.
Oh, well, it was immensely needed for me. It was because I spent so much time during my 17 years incarcerated in isolation, right? I spent my last 4 years in solitary confinement in the ADX in Florence, Colorado. And for me, reading and writing was a form. Writing was a form of expression. It was a way that I could express myself through poetry, through essays, etc. Right? And when I was unable to do so because of my environment, and reading was a way of just being able to open my mind and get out of the confines of an 8x12 box. You know, I could free my mind with books, and I could free my soul with expression through writing.
Yeah, thank you for that. Your vulnerability is such a strength. Like, I think we all really appreciate hearing that. So now I know you also picked out a poem by one of our incarcerated members, Eric, and I was wondering if you could also read that for us tonight.
Well, this poem is called Who Is Listening by Eric B. I'm mad at the world. I'm mad at myself. I'm upset with the results. Who is there to complain to? Who is there to speak to? I feel alone, lost. I feel alone, lost, trapped. I'm caged like an animal. I'm forgotten by everyone. I'm nobody for the moment. I do not exist. I'm non-existing. I feel I'm talking to myself again. Is there anyone listening? And that's a poem by Who's Listening by Eric B.
Thank you for reading that, Lydell. We really appreciate it. So I was wondering, you know, if you were writing a Write Night comment for Eric tonight, what would you say to him specifically? You know, we were just talking about, you know, how isolating incarceration is and everything. So what would you say to Eric?
I would let him know that his voice is being heard, because he asks the question, who is listening, right? And brothers and sisters that find themselves on lockdown or incarcerated, right? They feel as though they don't have a voice, you know? And so I tell them, listen, through your poetry, through your writing, right? We are listening. There are people that are listening to you in the world, right? And also his poem showed the nakedness one might feel